Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to build your verbal toolkit for thinking critically. We're talking about 20 words that'll help you spot solid proof, see right through weak reasoning, and build arguments that are, well, pretty much bulletproof.
Seriously, think about that for a second. We are just swimming in information all day long. So how do you separate a really well-supported claim from a weak one? How do you know what to actually believe? It's a huge challenge, for sure, but having the right words makes all the difference.
And that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're building your thinking toolkit. We're going to stock it with 20 words that act like these little precision instruments, the kind you can use to take apart ideas, check the evidence, and then share your own thoughts with some serious clarity. So let's get into it. Okay, so our first set of tools is all about one thing: clarity. Because let's be honest, if you can't see or say an idea clearly, how can you possibly evaluate it? You can't. This is the foundation for absolutely everything else we're going to talk about. Clarity isn't just one size fits all. On one hand, you've got words like limpid, which means something is transparently clear. Just think of a really simple, easy-to-get explanation. But then, on the other hand, you have erudite, which describes someone with really deep, specialized knowledge. Their arguments are clear not because they're simple, but because they're built on a mountain of expertise. And that gets to a really crucial point. All that deep knowledge doesn't mean a thing if you can't communicate it, right? An erudite professor who can't give a lucid, that is a clear and easy-to-follow lecture, isn't really helping anyone learn. The real goal is to be both knowledgeable and easy to understand. That is the sweet spot. All right, so once an idea is clear, it's time to actually look at the proof. This is where we put on our investigator's hat and start, really weighing the evidence. Think of these words as your go-to checklist. First off, can you corroborate the claim? That just means, can you find another source that backs it up? Second, does this new fact debunk or prove false a belief that's been around forever? Third, and be honest with yourself here, was your first look just cursory? A quick superficial glance? It is so easy to fall for confirmation bias with a cursory look, just seeing what you expect to see. And finally, what are your criteria? Those are the standards, the principles you're using to judge something. Without clear criteria, your whole analysis is just guesswork. Now, here is a fantastic technique for analysis: juxtaposition. It sounds fancy, but all it means is putting two things right next to each other. When you do that, their differences can become incredibly obvious. For example, if you juxtapose an old theory with some brand new evidence, you can instantly see where the old idea just doesn't hold up anymore. So, we've made the argument clear, we've analyzed the evidence. Now let's talk about what makes proof truly powerful, truly convincing, what makes an argument an absolute slam dunk. One of the most powerful kinds of proof is cumulative evidence. It's not about one single gotcha moment. It's more like a detective story where the evidence just builds up piece by piece. A single clue might not mean much on its own, but as more and more details get added, the case becomes so strong it's just impossible to ignore. And here are 3 awesome words to describe that kind of powerhouse evidence. A piece of evidence is dispositive. If it's the final word, it just settles the issue for good. It's like the mic drop. We measure a solution's efficacy by asking, does it actually work? Does it produce the right outcome? And when evidence is really, truly strong, it will evince the truth. It just reveals it, plain as day, for everyone to see. Now, to really analyze the world, we also need words to describe its fundamental qualities. So for our last section here, we're adding some versatile, all-purpose tools to our kit that help us describe the subjects of our arguments with a lot more precision. Think about it. A good toolkit needs more than just a hammer, right? You need tools for the detailed work too. So these next few words are only loosely related to hard facts, but they help us describe the nature of the things we're arguing about. And that gives our analysis so much more texture and accuracy. So let's look at how things are made up. A group or a substance is homogeneous if it's all the same, completely uniform. Think of a class where every single student has the exact same background. The total opposite of that is eclectic. An eclectic collection is made up of a huge variety of things from all different sources. Like having an eclectic taste in music that goes from classical all the way to hip-hop. Here are 4 fantastic words for just describing qualities. An innate quality is something you're born with, like an innate talent for music, or maybe an innate bias we have to watch out for. The epitome is the perfect example of something, like the epitome of a well-crafted argument. Lithe describes a body that's flexible and graceful. And Diminutive, well, that just means extremely small. And now for a great cause and effect pair. An exigent situation is one that's super urgent, demanding immediate attention. Think of an exigent deadline at work. Well, that kind of pressure can cause things to distend or swell up. Your workload can distend, the tension in the room can distend. It's all about expanding under pressure. All right, we have covered a lot of ground and added 20 brand new tools to our thinking kit. So before we wrap up, let's pull out the most essential ones and put them right at the top of the toolbox where they're easy to grab.
So if you remember nothing else today, just keep these 5 actions in mind. Always strive to be lucid. Always corroborate your information. Judge things by clear criteria. Have the courage to debunk bad ideas when you see them. And finally, respect the power of cumulative evidence. Honestly, that's the foundation of all critical thinking right there.
Your toolkit is now officially upgraded. The only thing left to do is to actually use it. So I'll leave you with one last question to take away. What's the first flawed claim or weak argument you're going to take a closer look at with these new, sharper tools? Go find out.